You know that feeling? You wake up with this beautiful, perfect plan for your day.
Oh, yeah, the perfect schedule.
Right. You have all this energy, you have a list, and then suddenly you look at the clock. The sun has gone down. It is 10:00 p.m., and you realize you have done absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. It's the worst feeling.
It really is. Well, welcome to Tim's English channel. Today, we are looking at a problem that is truly universal. It's a very, very human experience.
Definitely. And, we are so thrilled you're joining us for this deep dive today.
We really are, because our mission today has a very special dual purpose. First, we are exploring practical, real-life time management.
And by real life, we mean,
Yeah, we mean no extreme advice.
yeah.
We are not going to tell you to force yourself to wake up at 4 a.m. and work for 15 hours straight.
Oh, absolutely not.
Mm.
I mean, as our source notes, for many of us, our bed is our best friend in the morning.
It really is my best friend. So time management has to fit into a normal human life, you know?
It really does. And the second part of our mission today is doing what we call a natural English upgrade.
I love this part.
Right. We're going to examine how to talk about managing our time, but instead of using basic textbook English, we're going to learn the smooth, native-sounding phrases that people actually use in real conversations.
Exactly. The goal is for you, listening right now, to sound comfortable and confident when you describe your day.
Yeah, so we'll explore why we lose time, how our brains cleverly trick us into avoiding work, and the exact vocabulary you need to describe these very human moments.
So let's jump right into the source material. Before we can manage our time, we really have to understand the mechanics of how we lose it in the first place.
Right, where does the time actually go?
Exactly. And our source shares this highly relatable story that perfectly illustrates how a whole day can simply vanish.
I read this and I felt like it was talking about me.
Same here. So imagine someone needs to write a very important, serious speech. And the topic of this speech is ambition and mission.
Which is a really heavy, difficult topic.
It's super heavy. So this person sits down at their computer and they open a completely blank document. But instead of writing a single word, they suddenly notice a small problem with their cloud server.
Oh, no. I know where this is going.
Right. They tell themselves, oh, I will just fix this server issue quickly. It will only take 5 minutes.
That just 5 minutes thought is like one of the most common traps our brains set for us.
It definitely is, because fixing that cloud server ends up taking 2 full hours.
2 hours instead of 5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. And after that is finally done, the person decides to look at some complex C++ computer code that a friend sent them.
Just, casually reviewing some code instead of writing.
Right. And after that, they watch 3 different videos about dogs.
Naturally. The dog videos always get you.
Always. And suddenly, the whole evening is gone. The blank document is still sitting there, completely empty.
So when an evening disappears like that, someone using basic English might describe the situation by saying, I looked at other things, or I had no time.
Which is fine, but we can do better.
Exactly. The natural upgraded phrasing is different. Instead of saying you looked at other things, a native speaker would say, I got distracted.
I got distracted. That's a great phrase.
It is. And instead of saying you had no time, the natural phrase is, I ran out of time. So you would say, I got distracted by dog videos and I ran out of time.
Got distracted and ran out of time. Those phrases just sound so much more active, They describe the experience perfectly.
They really do.
Now, our source brings up a fascinating analogy here. It describes the internet as a distraction machine.
A distraction machine. That's so accurate.
Right. The internet is literally designed to make you click one thing and then another until your attention is completely gone.
It's built for that.
But the source points out something even deeper, which I thought was super interesting. It suggests that sometimes we actively let ourselves get pulled into this distraction machine because the main task feels like a giant mountain.
A giant mountain.
Yeah. So I want to pose a question here to you. Why does our brain decide that fixing a highly complex cloud server issue is somehow easier than just starting to write a simple speech? Both require a lot of thinking.
That's a great question. And to understand that, we have to look at how the brain processes fear, ambiguity, and success.
Okay, break that down for us.
Well, when you look at a blank document for a big, serious speech about ambition and mission, your brain doesn't just see a normal task. It sees a massive, terrifying mountain of unknown work.
Because there's no clear answer, right?
Exactly. There's no clear right or wrong answer when writing a speech. It is ambiguous, and the human brain hates ambiguity.
It really does.
So in natural English, the word for this feeling is overwhelmed. That is the perfect upgrade for the basic phrase, I have too many things to do.
Overwhelmed. That is a highly descriptive word. It sort of um, creates a picture of being buried under a heavy wave of water, you
That's
know?
exactly the image.
Hmm.
And when you feel overwhelmed, your brain experiences a mild fear response.
Wait, actual fear.
Yeah, mild fear. It desperately wants to feel successful and productive, but it wants to do so without facing the emotional fear of that blank document.
Oh, wow. So what does it do?
It seeks out unrelated tasks that have clear, defined rules. Fixing a cloud server or reading C++ code might be technically difficult, but they have a clear starting point and a clear ending point.
Right, you fix the bug and it works.
Exactly. The brain chooses the complicated technical task to get a guaranteed feeling of success, just to avoid the emotional weight and uncertainty of the giant mountain task.
That is a brilliant way to look at it. So we're not just being lazy when we watch dog videos or fix servers. We are actually managing our own anxiety.
Precisely. You're trying to cope.
We walk away from the mountain because we feel overwhelmed, and we hide in the distraction machine where things feel safe.
Right, it's a safe zone.
So if the core problem is that the task feels too big and scary, it seems like the logical solution is to change how the brain perceives the size of the task.
Yes. If the brain is paralyzed by the size of the mountain, you have to change the shape of the mountain.
How do we do that?
You have to lower the stakes so the brain no longer feels threatened by it.
Okay, and this brings us to another natural English upgrade from our source. In basic English, if a project is too big, you might say, I made the task smaller.
Which is, again, okay, but a bit clunky.
Right. But the much more natural, native-sounding phrase is break it down. You take the giant mountain and you break it down into very small, easy pieces,
Break it down, so instead of telling yourself, I need to write a whole speech today.
which immediately triggers that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Right. You break it down, you tell yourself, I am only going to write the first sentence.
Or perhaps I am only going to write 3 ideas on a piece of paper.
Exactly. Writing 3 ideas is not a giant mountain. It is a tiny hill. Your brain does not get scared of writing 3 ideas.
The source uses a really wonderful analogy for this concept, actually. It says getting started on a difficult task is kind of like trying to push a heavy car.
Oh, I love this analogy.
It's so good. When the car is completely stopped, pushing it is incredibly hard. You have to use every ounce of your strength just to move it an inch.
It takes so much effort.
But once the car is actually rolling, the momentum takes over and it becomes much easier to keep pushing.
Momentum is the key word there. Starting is always the hardest part because you are fighting the brain's initial resistance.
Right.
But once you sit down and write those 3 ideas, the car is moving. You have faced the blank page, and you usually naturally want to write a little more.
Okay, let me push back on this a little bit, though.
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, I understand the logic. Writing 3 ideas sounds easy. But what if my brain is still too scared?
You're just totally frozen.
Yeah. What if I am so incredibly overwhelmed that I cannot even push the heavy car 1 single inch? Sometimes, even writing 3 words feels like too much work when the anxiety is really high.
That is a very real challenge, and it happens to everyone. But the source provides the ultimate behavioral hack for that exact situation.
Okay, what is it?
It's called the 5-minute rule.
The 5-minute rule. Tell us how that works in practice.
So it is essentially a way to negotiate a treaty with your own fear. You got a timer on your phone for exactly 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. You commit to working on the task, whether that is writing the speech, doing math homework, or, practicing your English vocabulary for just those 5 minutes.
Okay.
But here is the most crucial part of the rule. You give yourself full, guilt-free permission to stop the moment that timer rings. If you want to walk away after 5 minutes, you are entirely free to do so.
Wait, but doesn't that just mean I will work for 5 minutes and then immediately go back to watching dog videos? I mean, how does 5 minutes help me finish a whole speech?
It helps because it lowers the barrier to entry so drastically that the brain cannot justify arguing with it.
Ah, I see.
Anyone, no matter how tired or anxious, can tolerate doing something for 5 minutes. It bypasses the brain's alarm system. But the psychological trick here relies on what happens during those 5 minutes.
What usually happens?
Usually you will not stop when the timer rings.
Because the heavy car is already moving at that point.
Yes, exactly. By the time minute 4 or minute 5 rolls around, the hardest part, the friction of starting is already over.
You're already doing it.
Right. You have survived the fear of the blank document. You have written a sentence or two, and your brain has shifted from an anxious state to a focused state.
If fear is gone?
Exactly.
Hmm.
So when the timer rings, the idea of stopping actually feels like an interruption. You simply choose to keep going because you are already in the flow of the work.
That is a fascinating piece of psychology. We are essentially giving the brain an escape route so it feels safe enough to just start.
Exactly.
Now, using the 5-minute rule to get started is clearly highly effective, but I imagine it will completely fail if your physical environment is constantly fighting against your
Oh,
focus.
definitely. The physical environment plays a massive, often invisible role in our ability to manage time.
Yeah.
You can have the best intentions in the world, but if your environment is full of traps, your brain will eventually fall into one.
This leads us perfectly to our next natural English upgrade. When we talk about controlling our environment, basic English might say, I hid my phone,
Right.
but the smooth, natural phrase that native speakers use is put away. You need to put away your phone.
Put away is a great phrasal verb. It means to move something out of your hands, off your desk, and completely out of your sight.
Usually to its proper storage place, right?
Exactly.
Our source has an incredibly vivid description of a smartphone in this context. It describes a phone sitting on a desk as a little glowing magnet.
A glowing magnet. That is so evocative.
I think that image is so accurate. Even when the screen is dark and it is not making any noise, it feels like it is pulling at your attention.
Constantly pulling.
But let's test this idea. Is it really necessary to physically put the phone away? If my phone is sitting on my desk, but it's turned completely off, isn't that enough? Does moving the phone to a drawer or another room actually change anything in my brain?
It absolutely changes what is happening in your brain.
Hmm.
And it comes down to a very old, very true principle. Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. Meaning, if your eyes cannot see it, your brain stops thinking about it.
Precisely. What researchers have found is that when your phone is sitting right next to you on the desk, even if it is turned off, your brain is actively working to ignore it.
Really? Even if it's off?
Yes. Every time you see that little glowing magnet in your peripheral vision, a small part of your brain says, hey, check the phone, look at the messages, get a dopamine hit.
Oh, wow.
And a different part of your brain has to step in and say, no, we are writing a speech, ignore the phone.
So just having the phone visible on the desk is actively draining my mental energy because I am constantly having a silent argument with myself.
That is exactly what is happening. You are spending valuable cognitive bandwidth just resisting the temptation. It depletes your willpower.
That makes so much sense.
But if you put the phone away, if you place it in a drawer or in another room entirely, you cannot see the glowing magnet.
The visual trigger is gone.
Right. Your brain no longer has to spend any energy fighting its pull. Out of sight, out of mind makes it infinitely easier to concentrate because your environment is finally supporting your focus rather than attacking it.
That completely changes how I view my workspace. It is not just about avoiding the distraction, it is about protecting my brain's energy.
Exactly. Protect your energy.
So, if we synthesize everything we have learned from our source today, managing our time in a normal, human way really comes down to 3 core actions.
Let's hear them.
First, when a task feels like a giant mountain and you feel overwhelmed, you break it down into tiny, safe pieces.
Yes.
Second, you use the 5-minute rule to trick your brain into pushing the heavy card just enough to build momentum.
Perfect.
And third, you put your phone away so the little glowing magnet doesn't quietly steal all your mental energy.
Those 3 steps change the entire dynamic of a workday. They shift you from feeling helpless to feeling in control.
Now that we have thoroughly explored the psychology behind managing our time, it is time to fully master the natural English required to talk about these concepts with confidence. Let's do a quick word tour and put all these phrases together.
This is an important step. Upgrading your vocabulary from basic to natural English does more than just improve your language skills.
What else does it do?
It makes you sound far more comfortable, capable, and emotionally intelligent when discussing your daily life.
That's a great point. So let's review the transformations we discussed today. First, the basic English phrase is, I had no time. But the natural English upgrade is, I ran out of time.
Right.
For example, someone might say, I really wanted to clean the kitchen today, but I ran out of time.
Notice how ran out of time implies that you were actively busy doing other things, whereas had no time can sound a bit helpless.
Ah, subtle difference, but important. Next, we have the basic phrase, I looked at other things. The natural, native-sounding upgrade is, I got distracted.
Yes, I got distracted.
You might use it by saying, I tried to study, but the television was too loud and I got distracted.
It perfectly describes how your attention was captured by something outside of your control.
Then we look at the back phrase, I made the task smaller. The much smoother upgrade is, I broke it down.
Break it down.
Like saying, this project is too difficult, let's break it down into 3 smaller steps.
This is a phrase you will hear constantly in business and academic environments. It shows problem-solving skills.
And finally, the basic phrase, I hid my phone. The natural upgrade is, I put my phone away. For instance, I am going to put my phone away so I can really concentrate on this book.
Combining these practical life skills with these natural language skills is incredibly powerful. It allows you to communicate your habits clearly and naturally.
To really demonstrate how smooth these phrases sound when used together, our source provides a fantastic, unifying story.
Oh, I like this part.
Yeah, listen to how all these natural phrases flow together in one short conversational paragraph. The person says, yesterday I tried to study English, but I got distracted by a computer game. Before I knew it, I ran out of
A
time.
very common scenario.
Right. Then they say, today I have a new plan. I am going to put away my phone and I am going to break down my studying into small 15-minute pieces.
That paragraph is excellent. Every phrase is used perfectly in a real-life context.
It really is.
It paints a very clear picture of someone who's reflecting on their mistakes and making a solid, practical plan to improve their focus.
To you, our wonderful listener, we want to offer some strong encouragement as we wrap up today. You might feel like you struggle with time management. Honestly, we all do.
Oh, we definitely all do.
But just by spending your time listening to this deep dive today, you are already managing your time incredibly well. You are actively learning, and you are taking steps to improve yourself.
That's so true. Time spent learning how to improve is never wasted time.
Please be kind to yourself. If you try to study today and you still get distracted by the internet or by a game, that is perfectly okay.
You are human.
Yes, you are human. Do not get angry at yourself. Just try again tomorrow. Break the task down. Use the 5-minute rule to push the car. You will absolutely get there.
Building new habits is about consistency, not perfection. Every small step counts.
Before we go, please remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed our conversation today. It is a small thing, but it really helps us out. And do not forget to subscribe to Tim's English channel so you never miss a new deep dive.
We truly love making these deep dives, and the learning journey is always much better when we can share it with all of you.
Now, we want to leave you with one final thought to ponder today. We often think of procrastination as a problem with managing our time.
Right, time management.
But based on what we learned about the brain seeking out comfortable, easy tasks to avoid the scary, ambiguous tasks, it seems procrastination is actually a problem with managing our emotions.
Wow, managing our emotions.
Yeah. Next time you find yourself reaching for your phone instead of working, ask yourself, what emotion am I trying to avoid right now?
That is a very powerful question to ask yourself.
And to help you actively practice the vocabulary we covered today, we have a direct invitation for you. We want you to go down to the comment section below this video on Tim's English channel and write a very simple sentence using one of our new phrases.
I'd love to see that.
Here is your prompt. I usually get distracted by.
This is a great exercise. What is your personal glowing magnet?
Tell us what pulls your attention away. Is it video games? Is it your cute pet demanding attention? Or is it just sleeping because your bed is your best friend?
It could be anything.
Whatever it is, write it in the comments. The goal is simply to practice writing natural English. It does not have to be perfect.
We look forward to reading what distracts you in the comments.
Thank you again for joining us. Tonight, when 10:00 p.m. rolls around, hopefully you won't be wondering where the whole day went. Hopefully you will know exactly what you accomplished, 5 minutes at a time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Goodbye, and keep practicing.